Afghanistan began in 2002 and ended in 2014. Over 40,000 men and women served in the longest war in Canadian history. By its conclusion, 158 men and women had paid the ultimate sacrifice, and over 2,000 were physically injured, and countless others continue to battle mental health issues. Like past conflicts, Canadian soldiers sacrificed so much during the war, and they've come together to maintain the honor of their actions. One such way that goal can be reached is by forming the Afghan Veterans Association of Canada, or the AVAC. This is by no means a new concept. Canadian veterans from other conflicts have formed associations such as the Korean Veterans Association of Canada, or the Canadian Association of Veterans of the United Nations Peacekeeping, and the Airborne Regiment of Canada Association. There's a Canadian Aboriginal Veterans and Serving Members Association, and other associations include regimental associations for both the Reserve and Regular Force. Finally, there are other veterans organizations, the Royal Canadian Legion, Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans in Canada, and the War Amps of Canada. Until recently, there has been no association dedicated to represent the interests of the Afghanistan veteran exclusively. The goals of the AVAC will be as follows: primarily to assist all veterans of all wars, past, present, and future, meaning we'll be an all-encompassing association. If a Canadian veteran is having difficulty, we will do our best to assist them in seeking a solution that they need. Our secondary goal will include a national Afghanistan memorial in Ottawa, with the approval of those Canadians that participated in the Afghan War. Included will be the etching of the Afghanistan War on every cenotaph in every town, city across the country. Reunions for battle groups, significant anniversaries, and keeping in contact with fellow veterans and the families that lost loved ones in Afghanistan will also be undertaken. You may be asking why this association needs to be formed. Why should I even bother joining? When the Canadian government puts forward a committee and asks for input from veterans' representations, there is no single group to speak on behalf of the Afghan veteran. The new Veterans Charter was implemented in 2006, meaning that the majority of those affected by this change in legislation will be fellow Afghan vets. I implore you to think about your first day in the forces. Remember the bonds that you forge with your fellow new recruits. Learning drill for the first time, the inspections, and the field training exercise. Remember the camaraderie you developed through those long days of being tested. Now think about the first day you put boots in Afghan sand, or your fire team partner, the section you fought with, the platoon you trained with, and the company you spent countless sleepless nights protecting. Think of going outside the wire for the first time, the convoys, the unforgiving terrain, the short halts, and the unrelenting heat, and those IMPs. By joining us, you will continue to do what you've been trained to do from the first day you donned Army greens. Look out for Buddy. This association needs to lend a voice to the vulnerable that came back and still carry a significant burden. We intend to continue the promise we made before deployment by looking out for the needs of our fellow soldiers. This association can be the way to keep the memory and interests of the Afghanistan vets in the forefront of the Canadian consciousness. By giving a voice to the Afghan veterans, the AVAC hopes to help the veterans of all conflicts get the services they need and maintain contact with the men and women that they served with. We are losing 1,000 World War II veterans a month, and the youngest that a Korean veteran can be is 79 years old. It is the younger generations that this torch has been passed to. Veterans Affairs can sometimes feel bureaucratic and complicated. Our goal is to help our veterans navigate Veterans Affairs Canada. Such assistance will help them avoid a feeling of helplessness or hopelessness that could result in our members feeling lost in a system that was designed to help them. Who can join the AVAC? Anyone that served a tour in Afghanistan or was directly deployed into the theater of operations in support of the mission. This includes naval members, Army, Air Force, civilian police, RCMP, and of course all of our civilian members. All Silver Cross mothers will receive honorary membership, as will the immediate family members of the 158 fallen Canadians. Honored guests that have helped the association will be able to apply as patrons. Businesses will be allowed to apply as patron businesses. Are you wondering what level of commitment is expected of you? It will vary depending on each membership. It begins by filling out a membership application. Yearly dues for a regular member will be $40 a year. Of course, tax receipts will be issued. Honorary members will pay nothing because they've given enough. Patron members will pay $20 a year, or the tax receipt issued. Like other associations, the AVAC will have yearly voting to elect a national board of directors, comprising of honorary and regular members, and each provincial or territorial command will vote for representation in their own home province. In addition to the dues collected, there will be various fundraisers to help raise money for the association so the primary and secondary goals can be achieved. Some feel that Canada is lagging behind her allies in the treatment of her veterans. As soldiers are succumbing to operational stress injuries, it has become clear that a change needs to occur. Afghan vets struggle with adapting back to civilian life. They continue to feel like they fall through the cracks. Our association needs to learn from the example set by other veterans organizations and show that we will place the needs of our members into the forefront of the minds of the public and the government. What is our plan? Starting as a grassroots movement that will grow and eventually become a national association with branches in each province or territory, we will represent the interests of the veterans of the Afghanistan conflict. We've incorporated and now have a nonprofit status. We're writing a constitution and bylaws. Once adopted, we intend to hold elections for the positions. We're currently organizing and canvassing all of our members and doing our best in helping veterans obtain all of their Veterans Affairs benefits. We'd begin raising funds for memorials and reunions, ensure that Afghan veterans get the acknowledgement in the eyes of the government and the recognition from the public that they deserve. What do you get for joining? A unique Afghanistan service pin, similar to those issued to veterans of World War I, will be made available to each member. Our website will have a short biography of every fallen soldier written by members of their family. Stories of valor will recount those feats of bravery that are known publicly and those that were quietly kept within military circles. A newsletter, information about upcoming events and reunions, a kit shop and links that would help and assist veterans. There will be a public and a private forum where questions can be asked by veterans and answered by other veterans. For this to come to fruition, we need members to join. This association has to happen. As we know, disunity will hurt any cause. This is our opportunity to show all parties involved that we can make a difference on behalf of all Afghan veterans. The moral obligation Sir Robert Borden spoke about just before the Battle of Vimy Ridge still does apply to the injured veterans of today. The new charter and current conditions of Veterans Affairs Canada has alienated some of our members that have sought help. The insurance company's strategies to deal with those maimed and more is discouraging, and there needs to be an association to help defend the men and women who served with dedication to country and flag. Join today and make a difference. For $40 a year with a tax receipt, you will make a difference. There are over 80 members already. By writing an email to afghanvetsofcanada@gmail.com and requesting a membership application, you will be on your way to making a difference. We've all been trained to help out Buddy, and I ask that you use that training today and become the newest member of the Afghanistan Veterans Association of Canada.